Go through your top 5 favorite cookie flavors that came from your store.
I think if I had to choose one forever, and I could only ever have it, it'd be chocolate chip walnut.
Hate nuts in my cookies.
Nuts. Okay, got it.
I like nuts, but
not in the cookie.
But not in the dessert.
Yeah.
Nuts are for when I'm like on a trail. And even then, I'm just eating the M&Ms.
Totally.
Tosh Show. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show. It's Tuesday, the second day of the week. As we all know, on the second day, God created the sky. I, on this second day, put forth a new episode, and it was good. Amen. Welcome to Tosh Show. Huh? That's how you get us started, Eddie.
It is how you get it started. A little blessing.
Let people know where we came from. We came from
The bottom.
Adam and Eve.
Yep. Right. They were there at the bottom.
Who made you?
I was
God.
Ripped from the
What else did God make? All things.
things that were around us.
You never were forced to memorize the shorter catechism?
Nope.
Oh, boy. Well, I'm in a sour mood.
I know.
We're going to get some feedback from the audience.
It's feedback, buddy. Here we go. Let's start.
Hold on. I'm not ready. I got to mentally prepare
All right.
for feedback from our viewers and our listeners.
Subscribers.
Some of our fans. Are they subscribing? Not at record pace. I'm told if we don't get our subscriber numbers up, that means they stay the same. I'd like our subscriber numbers to go down. I'd like people to unsubscribe. See if we can get that number back to 0.
Be sure to unsubscribe.
I want to see if we can get our show up to 5 million subscribers, and then I want to do the show and take it down to 0. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if anybody's ever accomplished that. Got 5 million subscribers and then got it back down to 0 just through good old-fashioned hate. Speaking of vitriol, let's hear from our fans.
Well, here we go. I hate you, Daniel Tosh. How dare you advertise in the middle of a podcast?
I feel you, buddy. You know, my goal for this podcast, I've said this since day one, has always been to create a place for advertisers and consumers to just vibe.
Next one. Tosh's kid loves telling stories about Lake Tahoe. It's a total flex and he doesn't even know it.
Now, he knows it. Once someone asked my son in the jacuzzi, we were sitting in a jacuzzi, a public jacuzzi. It was like a Four Seasons. They asked him if his jacuzzi at home was hotter than this. And he said, are you talking about Malibu or Tahoe?
They just stand there like,
Huh? That's my bougie boy. That's my bougie boy.
I feel like this show could be improved upon if you added another border or two.
What are you, the Border Patrol? I knew that the borders would be a game changer. The first big marketing meeting that we sat in.
Right, I remember this.
We were like, they kept pitching us all kinds of things to make the show stand out. And when that one team from San Francisco, from Silicon Valley, just like, listen, it's just borders. All of our research is showing that if you make borders around your podcast, the sky's the limit. I'm glad we listened to them. We paid them, what did we pay them for that first border?
It was $85,000.
$85,000 for the first version of the border. We said no to that one. Then we went with a different firm. Right. They actually charged us. They charged us less, $38,000, but gave us just a beautiful thick border. I hope it lives on forever.
I wish your audio was more bassy. I use headphones that amplify bass, and this podcast sounds very flat and weird through them.
Can't you just adjust the bass on your end? You have to understand. I got Dylan back there. This guy can barely tell his left foot from his right, so give him an audio request is falling on complete deaf ears. He might not even be rolling right now. There's a good chance this doesn't even air.
When Eddie is giving his father's eulogy, Daniel should shout Shenalzigus 3 times. Test his commitment to the bit.
All right, you spelled Shenalzigus wrong, first of all. Also, Shenalzigus
Hi, everybody. Hey, Daniel. It's Shenalzigus.
Okay, Eddie? That's technically you said the first one, so that doesn't count.
No, you got me on a technicality. Bye, everybody.
I hope, Eddie, I hope you have to start doing that on stage for 45 minutes every night of your life. If people start heckling your show with that, that'll be true heaven.
Just people start saying Shenalzigus in the theater.
All right.
This is from the Michelle Wee episode when he gave her cookies.
Okay.
Milk Jar Cookies closed as of January 15th. How old is this episode you're serving up?
All right. That's true. We pre-record some of these, and sadly, yes, they did close. And the entire Tosh family is still in mourning. So much so that today I've decided to get to the bottom of it. Enjoy. Tosh Show. Today's guest is a woman after my own heart, based solely on her quitting her job in television to spend the next 10 years owning and running one of my favorite cookie shops. Please welcome Courtney.
Hello.
Courtney, I'm going to be honest with you. This is arguably the most important interview I've ever done. Cookies mean more to me than my family.
Same.
So let's waste no time. Where are you originally from? And have you always been obsessed with cookies?
I was born in Fort Worth, Texas, and then we moved to Indiana, a suburb of Indianapolis, when I was 7.
Uh-huh.
And then moved out here when I was 22, so I've been here longer than I've been anywhere else.
But you grew up in Indianapolis, basically.
I did. I didn't answer your second question, which is, have I always been obsessed with cookies?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have been. So when I was a kid, my mom taught me the basics of baking, and I really loved cookie dough.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was pretty much what I would be doing if I wasn't in school or in gymnastics. I was making cookie dough. So,
Gymnastics.
I was a gymnast.
You're a competitive gymnast. Your father coached the U.S. men's team?
He was in charge of men's gymnastics. So he was the men's program administrator for U.S. gymnastics.
Your mother competed as well?
She was state champion in Texas.
How tall are you?
5'2".
You are? Mm-hmm. You look taller.
That's how I carry myself up here.
You do. You carry yourself taller. I wouldn't have pegged you at 5'2".
Yeah.
My wife's 5'2". She pretends like that's tall. But you retired at 14?
Yeah, I got injured.
Did you? What kind of injury?
It's like hips, they never really identified it, but I couldn't really lift my right leg above.
What was your best event?
Probably vault and floor.
Oh, the vault.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
It's so exciting.
And
It's just
everything
over
can
in
go
an
wrong.
instant. Everything
So
can go
bad.
so fast.
You just
So
the way
fast.
you run at it makes me laugh every time. It's just this angry run.
I mean, it is a sprint, and then you just hope for the best.
How much money, and is it possible, could I pay you to full steam run and do the vault right now? Could you run, hit it, and do something?
That's a really great question. I don't know. I could run.
Mm-hmm. Would you be
I could jump on the board. I would be scared.
Oh man, it'd be so great.
I would be scared. I feel like I could do. I don't know.
You think you could flip?
Now I really want to try. I don't know.
Put a price tag on that and come back to me. I grew up, in love with cookies.
Okay.
My grandfather was a baker.
Oh, okay.
My grandfather was a professional baker. My dad was a novice. Just, he grew up because of his dad. So I just second-handed it. The amount of raw dough that I've consumed in my life is...
If it could kill you, I'd be dead 1,000 times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's the only reason I made cookie dough.
I mean, that could explain my stomach issues my whole life. Now,
You just have like a regular salmonella case all the time.
I'm running at a low, just above,
Your
barely
body's like, here we go
traceable.
again.
What did you move to Los Angeles for?
To work in TV.
What aspect?
Well, I got a job. I have one of those stories where my aunt worked with a guy whose daughter worked out here. So my sophomore year of college, I cold called her and just tried to get advice. And so then whenever it came time for me to graduate, she was being promoted from post-production coordinator to supervisor. So I flew out the day after I graduated from college, interviewed for the post-coordinator position. Had no idea what I was doing, but they took a chance on me. And did that for...
That's kind of one of my favorite things about Los Angeles that doesn't get enough attention is the amount of jobs in show business that will give people that have no experience.
Yeah.
I mean, they turn over the keys to like young people doing really important things on stuff, just a lot of times like on hype and stuff. And that's kind of a neat thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. All right. So how long did you work in that world?
12 years.
12. Did you hate it or love it?
I loved it. I mean, it was hard. There were particular shows that would be like, I hate this.
You worked on the porn show?
Hung.
Yeah. Well, I mean, technically not porn. But
but that was the one show every morning they made me go to the post-production facility and watch dailies. And I was like, well, coffee in my morning, porn, like.
It's so early to see dong every
It was
morning.
not great. But yeah, I really loved it. But then it was like I did the cookies on the side for the last 7 years of that career and just kind of kept going back and forth.
You just started bringing your cookies in, or you always knew that your cookies were a level above what other people do?
No, it really was like bringing them in, and because I, single girl in my 20s, I just bake at night and bring them in and whatever.
As single girls do. Is that something?
That's what I did. I'm a nerd though, so I don't know.
I love it.
Yeah. So I would just bring them in, and then I started hearing kind of rumblings of like, hey, what bakery are these cookies from? Those are so good. And so then I just started thinking there was something to it. And it was always just chocolate chip at the time. And then I just started experimenting with other flavors, and I loved that creative outlet. And then I was like, maybe I'll try to do something. So I started a cookie company out of the coat closet of my one-bedroom apartment and just like shoved a fax machine in there. It was very high tech.
Oh.
And just kind of did it on the side for a while. And
for 7 years before then you opened the first brick and mortar? Was the first brick and mortar the one in Wilshire?
Yeah, so April 2013.
And you ran that one for 10 years. Pandemic, writer's strike.
All of it.
Writer's strike was a surprising one that affected you.
If you have a soapbox, I'll get on it for a little while.
Feel free.
But no, it's really interesting because there's been so little awareness of how deeply that impacted small businesses in this city. So what took us out is not unique to us. We were a very successful, beloved business, and it just 30% of our revenue went away overnight because we did so much catering to sets and, gifts for agents and managers. And it was just like, there was so much of it. And then that was gone and it still hasn't really come back.
I don't, now that I realize I don't have to buy gifts for my agents and managers.
I'm saving that money. But like it wasn't just the writers and the actors. We know that. The whole city wasn't working. And so those people are also not spending money. So, the foot traffic had never fully recovered since COVID. But then, and then whatever cookies we were selling, because we were very in support of the strike. I think it was a really important thing. And we would, not just support it as a concept, but pass out cookies at the picket lines and all that stuff. But, then you're offering discounts to writers and actors that come in with their car. So it was just everything kind of trickled down and, just ended up impacting us in a big way.
You were in the process, or you'd already opened the Pasadena location?
Encino.
Encino?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. We opened right when the strike started. It should have been the previous August. So it should have been a 6-month build out. I budgeted for 9 and it took 15. That kind of gave us
the nightmare of building and stuff like that. It's just plan for 4 months, but then be like, all right, 2 years seems right.
Oh. That seems reasonable.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Oh, man. It's funny. I just was in Sacramento and my friend has a ghost hunting app. And she was like...
And she's single?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's someone for everyone.
There's someone for everyone. So I don't know. I believe in energy. Like, I think we're all energy.
Sorry if I doze off.
No, that's okay. But I don't know. Like, I've never had a ghost experience. But this friend of mine that has the ghost hunting app.
They have an app, so that's...
No, but she got the app because she had this experience in Scotland in an old inn where there was like the sound of like someone jumping on the bed and this like, and a child giggle.
Oh, you don't like... I never like ghosts with kids. That's always...
It feels a little freaky. Yeah.
One time I terrified my wife's cousin. She was staying in a small little cabin that we had, and I put a knife under her pillow, and I put these little notes all around the bed.
That's called a psycho killer, not a ghost.
With crayons, and I wrote, "Give me back my dress."
Amanda, bring me my dress. And all these old photos of the house, my dress. Please, ha ha ha. The lake is cold, help my dress.
But a knife under the pillow might have been a touch too far.
No, it was because she didn't find that until she like laid down. Then she goes, and then there's a fucking knife under my pillow.
Amanda, knife! Scary as fuck!
And then when she went into the bathroom, I had a doll hanging by a noose in her shower.
I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
And like, she couldn't
That's
imagine.
amazing.
She was just couldn't handle
That's
to what levels I
incredible.
took.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. It was,
That's so funny.
yeah. Had you ever seen me walk into your store?
I hadn't.
Okay.
No.
Because I was always incognito, but I would
Okay.
illegally park out front, just double park in front of somebody.
Yeah.
I didn't like the parking situation. It actually
Yeah.
infuriated me, to be honest with you.
I apologize.
Sometimes I would say to myself, I'm like, I don't need to be doing this right now. I'm driving around for a cookie and I'm looking for a parking
Right.
spot.
It did get bad. We had 3 spots in the back, and there was a rear entrance, but then there was a public parking. Not to discount your
No,
concern.
you can.
There was a public parking lot on Cochrane, and then metered all along Cochrane, Dunsmuir, and Wilshire.
I've walked there before in my life from Carly's old house, which is basically by like the Melrose Improv, the comedy.
Oh,
right.
That's a walk. You
It's a
earned that
real walk.
cookie, yeah.
I walked the whole
Yeah.
way. I was like, oh, this is awful. Going through whatchamacallit Park, Pan Asian, what's it called?
Pan Pacific.
Pan Pacific.
Yeah, yeah.
Pan Asian. Pan Pacific, you know
yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah. It's great.
Whatever. I'm going through the La Brea tar pits to get a goddamn cookie.
Yeah. I admire that.
You were open till 11 o'clock at night. I couldn't wrap my head around that.
Oh, it was a party
It's
in
too
there.
long.
Before I opened, I was like, there's never a place like after you go to dinner and a movie, you want to like go get something
Yeah, that
sweet or a
place
cup
is
of coffee.
bed. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, it was great.
Okay.
People were looking for a place to go, and we were across from the Elerick, so it was like after a show, people could come over, and those were my favorite nights. And there was just like an energy, it was a party, it was so fun
Are you like a donut maker? Are you baking once or are you baking throughout the whole day?
throughout the day.
Okay.
Yeah. COVID changed things because like for 2 years, everything was, because we already individually wrapped and stuff if it was in a gift box, but then everything was individually wrapped after that.
I'm also, let me continue with something. Because your next chapter is going to be exciting. So I want to get as much feedback in as I can.
Perfect.
Knock it off with the stupid, that paper. I hated
The shred.
Oh, fuck your shred. It's so much.
I have an amazing story. This lady came in and she was just so mad. This was years ago. And she was like, I don't want the shred. And she was so mad. And my employee, and I got in late on the situation because it would have been like, just take the shred. It's fine.
Yes.
Like, but my employee was doing what they were trained to do. She handed her the box and the woman like takes it and just starts going and throwing it in the employee's face.
Okay. Well,
And I was
that's
like,
too far.
It's too far.
I love this person, but that's way too far.
You agree with her, but not the way she
In
handled
principle.
it. Exactly. But I was like, oh God, if anyone ever says no shred, don't give them the shred. It's fine.
First of all, that's the worst part of a small business is employees.
It's difficult.
It's just a nightmare.
It can also be the most like rewarding. And,
Okay. But let's focus on the negative. All right.
It's hard. It's hard.
Right. The individually wrapping. I was like, oh, why did I order a dozen? This is just fucking throw them into I'm going to coworkers. I'll just open it up.
Right.
Just the individual bags.
Yeah, I know.
Like, come on.
It's like, so that because if you take a variety and somebody's got a peanut allergy and now you've got this
I don't
thing,
give a shit. I hope they die for their stupid allergy. These are my employees that I'm giving it to. I don't care what
You don't
happens
care.
to them. Go through your top 5 favorite cookie flavors that came from your store.
I think if I had to choose one forever and I could only ever have it, it'd be chocolate chip walnut. Used to just be chocolate chip, but there's something magical that walnut oil like does to the dough even.
Hate nuts in my
Hate
cookies.
nuts. Okay.
I like nuts, but
not in the
But not in the
cookie.
dessert.
Yeah.
Nuts are for when I'm like on a trail. And
Like,
even then, I'm just eating the
only
M&Ms.
Totally. Okay, I think banana split. Sorry, again, walnuts in it, but
No, the banana split
banana
was
split, I
banana
love that.
split. I could have. That was a fancy concept, but I'll be honest. The nuts were like, I'm like, ugh.
yeah. Can I do seasonals
Yeah,
as well? Okay,
of course.
Peppermint bark.
Yep, I loved
loved
it.
peppermint bark.
I loved peppermint.
Picnic cookie.
What was that the one that had
You like
pretzel
it?
bits in it?
Yeah.
I really loved the oatmeal chocolate chip.
Yep.
But I would want to walk in there and be like, hey, you know that batch that needs 2 more minutes?
That's the one you want.
Let's pull it out now.
Yeah, the oatmeal. They got a little dry faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always do double parchment paper.
Oh.
And the reason is I
Okay.
just don't want the bottom burnt at all or dark or anything.
Yeah.
So that's my thing with I just live by parchment paper.
That's a baller move, double parchment.
Well, hey,
I'm gonna take that.
you got to spend to make.
Yeah.
The birthday cookie was one of my favorite with a scoop of vanilla ice cream, warmed. I would heat it up. It reheats very nicely.
Yeah.
I'm on tour. I was in Texas, I
Okay.
believe at the time. Anyway, my tour bus in the daytime near my hotel, pitch black. It's not, and Pete, who's a producer on the show, his wife, who was a comedy writer of mine, writer and a friend, she was on tour. Well, she came to the bus in the middle of the day to do something, and she opens the door, and I'm alone in the bus in the dark, just eating a cookie by myself. And she's like, you really have a problem. It's like, it's the afternoon
Is it
cookie.
a problem or is it just a self-care?
You charge $3 to $4 a cookie. During its peak, how much money were you printing? Like that's such a small amount of money for yearly you make it pulling in. There's like $1 million off of a $3 to $4 product. That's very impressive.
We sold a lot.
In terms of flavors, which cookies were selling the most?
Chocolate chip was definitely the most popular. And then banana split. So people love a classic, but they like the adventure too. And then birthday cookie. That actually started as a seasonal. I don't know if you remember that. It was the monthly flavor for our first anniversary in 2014. And then after that, it was the one everybody's like, where's the birthday cookie?
Well, in fairness, sometimes I would go in there and be like, there'd be a birthday cookie disguised as a Halloween cookie.
We would change the color of the sprinkles. It's true. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, it's fine. That's fine. I actually don't like the color orange and black, but whatever. I liked the other color. It was prettier.
Yeah.
And it also would make, when it was heated and you put a scoop of vanilla ice cream, it would do
so
some
picturesque.
It would do some nice stuff to the
It's
ice cream.
really nice, yeah.
These
I
are things-
appreciate your appreciation for the aesthetic. It's
Yes.
good. It's good.
What's your favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I take over at Christmas in my house. I do
Yeah.
a few things. I do a few traditional things. I do a shortbread. You don't
Okay.
mess with shortbread. I do one shortbread. But then I do this bar, peanut butter pudding chocolate bar.
Okay.
And then I do my regular traditional Christmas cookie, which I actually love, which is obvious.
Like the rollout cutout ones?
Yeah.
It's fun.
I do a little orange peel in there.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That adds, you can taste that orange peel, can't you, Pete?
In the peanut butter bar?
No. Oh, God damn it. You're not even paying attention over there. I want to talk about Yelp. You ran a business in Los Angeles during the time of Yelp. Talk a little about the bullshit with reviewers and navigating those waters.
Oh, man, you live and die by Yelp. You really do. For the most part, people were so kind to us on Yelp. And we never had a marketing budget ever. It was all organic growth. And so a lot of that was because of Yelp and people being so generous as to, take pictures and post them and do wonderful reviews. And then you have the ones that are just so off base and not accurate at all. Like
As an owner, did you reply to people? Because I always feel that is tough when I start seeing owners going back and forth with people.
It would never be like, you're wrong. I mean, that's you're just asking for more. Like I would reply because I always wanted to make it right. Like the fact that they had chosen Milk Jar Cookies to come and spend their hard-earned money and their time, and like that was never anything I took lightly.
My money was not hard-earned, just for the record.
But it was just, and that was something the staff was always, it was just like, this is a privilege that they are choosing us. Some people you're never going to please, and that's fine. It's the people that are like 1 star because parking was terrible.
Right.
It's like, that's not our problem.
That's why I don't find Yelp useful.
No.
I look at it.
Yeah.
I have my own metric of how I gauge it.
Yeah.
But if somebody's complaining about the price or the portion size, I don't care. I'm like, I don't care. I need the review to be like, oh, they won't serve Asians. And then I'll be like, oh, that's...
And they're like, that's terrible.
That's a
go
bad
there.
place.
Yeah.
I shouldn't support them.
Right.
What is that place that won't serve Asians again? You shipped worldwide?
Not worldwide, but nationwide. At one point, we're able to ship to Canada easily. And then 2016, some things changed. And
You're a big anti-vaxxer, right?
totally. But yeah, no, we did. It included Hawaii and Alaska, which we did ship to, and Puerto Rico. We had a Cookie of the Month Club member in Puerto Rico.
I gifted a box of your cookies to Michelle Wee, who I've interviewed on this show.
Oh, really?
Yes, but that was in protest from my wife, because my wife would get so mad every month when the box came, because she was like, "You're going to die." Like, she's like, you don't need a, but somebody had gifted me. So I was like, yeah, every month I got a box. What are you going to do? Are there any current cookie companies you would recommend?
Yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, I'm a cookie lover. Of course, I think mine are the best, but I will eat, a grocery store bakery cookie. But
I have recently stopped. If I bite a cookie that I no longer want to eat, before I just eat it.
Right. And now it's not worth it.
Here's another problem with when you love cookies and then everybody buys you cookies. It's like, oh, we're going to give you a lot. Well, I don't want a lot,
right?
Because now I have to either do the stupid freezer thing or I have to start devouring.
I gotta eat them.
Right. And I don't like to give them away, but it's like, and they're only really the best day one and day two.
Yeah.
So now it's just, I'm just sick to my stomach anyway. All right, that's my soapbox.
So yes, so I've and during like the course of our shutdown and selling off all the things, I got to meet several other bakery owners, which was a nice gift. So there's one in Culver City called the Very Best Cookie Company. There is a new one, I think it's called Fleur et Sel.
What is it?
It's French. Fleur et Sel. What is that? Flour and salt?
I don't know. Don't like them, but
don't like it. And then there is Cookie Good in Santa Monica. So all of these are independently owned.
What's his name over there? John. He likes Zooey's.
I have not ever tried Zooey's.
I've tried them. They're fine. I still can't get over the fact that you're going into a gas station to buy
It's not the most aesthetically pleasing.
Right.
Yeah.
They are good. I've had a few of them. They're good. You fuck with Girl Scout cookies?
I do. I was a Girl Scout. Top selling cookies, of course.
What was your favorite one?
Thin Mint.
Did you have to put it in the freezer?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Ugh. They're so much better in the freezer. And I like a Samoa.
I like a Samoa too.
And there's room for a do-si-do, the little peanut butter sandwich thing.
I don't love it.
Yeah, it's okay. The trefoil.
Trefoil?
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. Shortbread. Can't go wrong.
Do you ever mess with shortbread? Your store?
I don't. No.
Your store didn't?
We did chewy cookies. I don't like a hard cookie.
I don't either.
No.
That's why most of Girl Scouts were awful.
Yeah.
Cookies.
There's a place for it,
What's the difference between baking soda and baking powder?
Baking powder has other things in it. So it's got baking soda and it has, I want to say some cornstarch, and I'm a terrible baker. I can't remember the third ingredient. But anyway, they're kind of interchangeable.
Can baking powder keep your cabinets fresh?
I don't think so. That's where baking soda wins.
That was a marketing genius right there. It's
so,
like, you know what?
Genius.
Buy these and don't use them.
Oh, Arm & Hammer.
What do you bake besides cookies?
I love to, I'm not great. Like, I'm a terrible decorator, like icing and frosting.
I like cake without icing.
Yeah, I like just the cake.
I had a naked cake for my wedding.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like pie a lot.
What kind of pies are you making?
Usually like a fruit pie.
Yeah.
So like mixed berry.
I like a heavy crumble.
Yes. I mean, that's the whole point. It's kind of like you get the fruit, but like that's the good part, like the brown sugar and the crust and all that. Not big on like a pumpkin pie.
No, it's disgusting.
Yeah. It's the worst.
I don't want to eat a rhubarb pie either. That's too much.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
Maybe
you like it?
I don't like rhubarb. No, it's disgusting.
What if it's mixed with strawberry?
No.
No, not even. Okay.
A strawberry pie. It's so. Hey, what are you doing the rest of the day? I don't know. I'll be shitting. I just had a small slice of strawberry pie. Just so much. You like sidecar donuts? You ever had there?
I like sidecar donuts. You don't like them?
It's a bit much. They have a cookie dough. They have a cookie dough donut.
I don't mess with that.
Did you have it? I used to eat it.
You did? Okay.
Yes.
I know. I'm like, I'll go into a diabetic coma. Like if I eat that. It's too much.
Do you guys know that it's got a ball of cookie dough inside a huge, thick cake donut?
No, I love like their regular, just like cake donut. The blueberry one.
Yes.
Great.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I went through a phase with that donut.
God.
That's
no,
amazing.
I know. It's embarrassing. Listen, what are you going to do? We've all got our things.
You do.
You brought cookies today?
I did. Right, a birthday and chocolate chip.
I, this morning, made cookies for you.
That's great.
But, I mean, it's terrifying. But
No.
I tried to make a cookie that was like, I was like, oh, I don't want to make something similar. But, and then my wife's like, don't do that cookie. And I'm like, oh. And so she made me do her favorite cookie.
Okay.
This is oatmeal chocolate chip. But another thing that my wife forces me to do, she hates chocolate chips in quantity.
Okay.
So I have to put
She likes a lot of the
4 or 3 per cookie. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Great.
Now, again, I all right, whatever. I'm too much. You just have to taste it and do a review of my cookie on some level.
Okay. Okay, it's got the crisp outer, but you can tell the inside.
I feel like you should go for more of an inner bite, but that's fine. You do you. You do you. No.
I mean, I think you got some of it here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Just kidding. That's good. It's not too sweet. I like a balanced flavor. That's why I always had not overly sweet cookies. I like that.
Yeah, you put a banana inside your cookie.
And salt. Do you bake with salted butter or unsalted?
Unsalted.
Yeah, and then add the salt.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Oh man, that's stressful. That's so stressful.
That's good.
All right.
That's a good cookie. Even for a thin cookie.
I know.
Which is hard to do to keep it doughy.
I was going.
Great.
Thank you. I was going to, and I do the bang. You know,
the bang?
The bang where you.
With the.
Yeah, I do that during the process.
Well
Thanks. It's almost. I almost feel like. Do you ever watch Great British Bake Off?
Oh, I love it.
I almost felt like
that
was like my handshake moment.
Paul Hollywood handshake.
Oh man.
That's my dream.
You would like to go on that show?
No, I just want a handshake from Paul Hollywood. That show would be so it would be so fun, and they're so sweet to each other. I just love it so much.
When somebody's bad, I'm excited because I'm like, I can't wait to see this disaster. Have you ever been on a show?
No.
Would you?
It's scary. I don't know. It's scary.
I don't I get it why they have to do it for television. I don't want to care about a time element.
Yeah.
You won because you finished on time.
You finished on time.
Well, somebody else took 4 more minutes and it was the best cookie in the world.
Right.
Well, I got a problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's not right.
Let me see your cookies. Just I like the idea that this is oh wow. I'm going to say this out loud.
Okay.
The chocolate chip. These look better than some of the store-bought ones.
I mean, quality control's a bitch.
The lightness of the color is what I like.
Yeah.
Now, in the store, there were sprinkles in the bottom of these.
No.
Well,
sometimes they would
no, all the time.
Well, then the kitchen was not doing it properly.
The bottom was never clean like that.
Well, I just have the touch. Haven't lost it. I actually took a picture this morning and sent it to my friend. I was like, still got it.
That's so funny. Well, I want to go chocolate chip just because I'm in the mood for chocolate chip right now. I don't want my memory there. Is that so funny, Pete? How often did you see those cookies?
You sort of left out of the tour bus story as you flew across the country with enough to last you the tour.
Mm-hmm.
You did? That's so great.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I did. No one was to touch them.
Mm-hmm. These are mine. Hey, don't share. There you go.
You have a dog?
I do.
What's your dog's name?
Ollie.
How old?
13.
Uh-oh.
He's a handsome devil,
You're
though.
about to not have a dog.
Stop it. That's terrible.
I know, but that's...
The day I brought him home, I was like, he's going to die someday.
That's what I do.
It's the worst joke.
That's why I have 2 dogs.
Yeah.
I have a 14-year-old dog at home.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. She will get trapped under a chair. Like, she can just walk out, but she'll be frozen for 45 minutes. And I'm just like, oh, come on.
No.
And then she can't hear. She doesn't really see.
Yeah.
And then sometimes she'll start running as fast as she can right into a glass door. It's just awful. And you're like, oh, this is bad.
He's hanging in there right now. He's a pretty healthy dog.
I have another gift for you. It's no good, though.
It's no good.
It's dog beds.
Amazing.
You might, I don't know if, you're going to get them all. This is no good. I don't like this.
So that when I get more dog, what are you doing?
I always give people stuff that are on my show, but all right, let me put these down. Hold on. Some of these are nice.
They are.
Not all of them, but these are nice.
Carl, why didn't you like these?
Carl refuses to sleep in a dog bed. Well, no matter what. My other dog refuses to sleep in a dog bed. I'm like, why do we have these dog beds? What's next for you as someone who's already had 2 full careers? Mm-hmm. Are you hanging up the apron or are you ready to bake once more?
I think I'm hanging it up. I don't know that I ever need to have another bakery and own that kind of business. And I've become very passionate about advocating and supporting small business as a whole. And so I've been having a lot of conversations about ways to do that. So whether it's running for office.
You're going to run for office?
I don't know. It's an option.
My goodness. No, I mean, that's incredible. I don't know why that's my reaction.
Because it's a shit show and it's a cesspool in a lot of ways. But, it's a concept
It's a necessity.
But I think there are other ways to make change as well. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out what that is. I did a program with Goldman Sachs in 2020 that was essentially a micro MBA that you apply for. And you just come out of the program with a 5-year growth plan for your business. And they have an advocacy side that's 10,000 small business voices. And so I've been talking with them a lot, trying to figure out if there's opportunity there. Or I just think that it's the lifeblood of every community is the small businesses. And they're struggling, everywhere, but especially here. If you have another soapbox, I have that.
No, I'm listen. Well, if you have any ideas to fix the broken system, that seems like work that would be appreciated. But would you ever no side hustle, bake just like online order type thing, or is that not?
I don't know, because it's so funny because if I were to even open that door, like I wouldn't be able to. I would have to have a kitchen. I would have to have space to do the packaging. Individual wrapping to ship them. Got to have space to store all that shred.
It's a lot. What about already a business that's established, but like you just take over the baking portion of it?
Yeah. I also think consulting for small businesses is something I've thought about doing. And I was kind of doing that offhandedly when people were coming in to purchase stuff. And there's just a lot of, I think there's a lot of things that have been overlooked with small business, and there's not a lot of education out there. And so
that's why most businesses fail is because everybody goes into it completely blind.
Yeah.
I was hoping we were going to brainstorm on your next big venture, but if it's just fixing every other small business, that's that.
No, I'm open to the magic. I really am.
All right. Guys, we're going to open up a waffle store. I love a whatchamacallit. What's the waffle with the sugar in it? That's the Belgian waffle?
The Belgian waffle?
Yeah. My son once, I told him, I go, hey, they said that you don't need to eat breakfast, that you're going to have waffles at school today. He's like 4 at the time.
Yeah.
And he goes, but Dad, what if they're not Belgian?
That's a bougie kid.
That's a bougie kid.
Fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, I wasn't even embarrassed. I was proud.
Yeah.
I was like, good.
Absolutely.
Listen, I hope you fix every small business world. That's amazing that's even something that you're interested in helping.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show, and I appreciate all your cookies that you've baked over the years for me.
Thank you so much for being such a supportive customer. It is much appreciated, and thanks for having this. Was really fun.
Tosh Show. Summer's here, and there's no better time to get out of the house and enjoy some live events. Whether you're coming to see a Daniel Tosh show, which I highly recommend, or maybe a Miami Dolphins football game, or you're coming to check out that ridiculous Sphere in Vegas, there's a ticket for you on SeatGeek. And I have great news for all my viewers, because now, with my special hookup, no matter how many times you've bought from SeatGeek before, you can get 10% off any ticket using code TOSH10. Whether you're a new customer or not, you can use it on sports, concerts, festivals, you name it. When I wanted to go see Taylor Swift in North Korea a few weeks ago, the first place I turned was SeatGeek. And even on short notice, they said, no problem. Hooked me right up. SeatGeek tickets are backed by their buyer guarantee. They even let you return your tickets with swaps. So don't wait. Open the SeatGeek app, add code TOSH10 to your account, and get 10% off. This offer is for a limited time only, so act fast. Use code TOSH10 for 10% off tickets at SeatGeek. Tosh Show. Want to thank Courtney for being on the show. I really do hope she throws away all her aspirations for running for a political office and fixing tons of other small businesses. And I hope she focuses solely on baking. But that's just me, and I'm selfish. By the way, Carl, she took all of your beds. She took your 5 beds. You have no more beds. Okay? You can just sleep wherever you want. No longer will I be forcing you to get into a bed. You just lay down on the floor like you always do. Finally get all that extra floor space back. That'll be nice. And thank you, Courtney, for the cookies. Oh, by the way, you know what's funny? So I'm driving here, to Baldwin Hills. I don't live here. And then I realized, oh no, I forgot to bring the 5 dog beds that I set out to give away today. And then somebody tells me here, they're like, you can just use Uber. You don't have to put a human in it. You can just hire Uber to deliver your stuff. And I'm like, are you serious? And sure enough, we did it. Just had an Uber driver pick up your dog beds and bring them here. It was like $50. It's an hour drive. I'm impressed, Uber. Quite a service you came up with there. They ought to give us money. Give us money, Uber, for me just plugging your weird, what's it called? Uber Connect Express is what I'm told. That sounds like a paid ad. It's not. I shouldn't say it the right way. I'll just call it Uber delivery. Whatever. At the very least, reimburse me the $52 I just spent. Plus tip. You tip on a package, I guess? I don't know. How much you tip on that package, Pete?
$10.
$10 is $62. That's the very least you can do. Don't make this show run in the red. What do we got to plug? Few things. The GOAT, the reality show. Still, guys, jump on Prime. Check it out. Do that thing where if you're not a member and you don't have the streaming service, you can always find a way to get 7 days free just with some bogus email. I don't know how it works. And watch all 10 episodes. And hopefully we'll get back to shooting a new season. And you know who I want on the next season of The GOAT? I want some of the cast members from Selling the OC. It's like Selling Sunset, but instead of just crazy outfits and all girls, there's some guys, and then there's some girls, but they don't dress as crazy, and they got their boobs out. Always, their boobs are always out. Anyway, let's get some of them on the show on the new season of The GOAT. They're pretty crazy. Boyswearpink.com, the toddler clothing line. Check that out. Come see me on tour, do stand-up in San Ynez or New Orleans. Come to New Orleans. Grab yourself a po' boy and a beignet and have a good laugh. Or come to Hawaii with me for Thanksgiving. I should bring a viewer with me to Hawaii. Whole trip. You come with me on the trip and you come to the shows. Some shows are in Maui, some in Honolulu. You do the whole thing. You're just a part of my life. You live with me for 6 months. Make it a viewer that thinks I'm completely out of touch, and let them just live with me for 6 months. I want them to walk 6 months in my shoes, and then say, oh, you know what? Turns out that's way better than I thought it was. You know what? Scratch that. I don't want to do that. Don't let anybody live with me, and nobody comes with me. Maybe I'll meet somebody in Maui. That's what we should do. Somebody that's devastated by the fires in Maui a few years ago. We should just take care of one person. I like that. Because it's always like, we donated to whatever. And it's like, it's just spread too thin. I don't have enough money to make it actually helpful. But if we just pick one person and it's like, here, let's make your holidays better. Oh, you know what else I've wanted to do? I've always wanted to rent a truck and fill it with turkeys and for Thanksgiving, and then go to a real nice neighborhood and give them out. Hey, I bet you they'd like free turkeys too.
Frozen ones are live. You just don't know the live turkeys. If you really want this turkey, you're going to have to work for it.
Well, yeah, and let me tell you something about killing a live turkey. You don't want to let them know that you're killing them because then their meat tenses up, I think. You want to sneak up on them samurai style and just swing. Because the last thing you want before they die, you don't want their adrenaline to go flying through their muscles. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think I heard that once on some show that was disgusting. All right. Another bedtime story from my son. See you guys next week. All right, go ahead.
Once upon a time in a far away planet were the little astronauts. They waited so long, but no one came. So, what they needed to thaw was a water ship. They blasted off in 10 toward the mirror. All below, they said. And then the astronaut waited, and then the water ship came. So everybody was in town except the wildebeests. And this wildebeest was in fire, and he blew his fire out. And there was a tiny dragon. He was purple with stripes on him always. Then when it was nighttime, he got out of bed. He went outside, and there was a beast. Oh, it was called prison beast, and that prison beast blew him and turned him into a statue. And then he turned back, and then he rolled out, and the missile beast flew away. And then the astronaut waited, and then they saw another water ship with a titty tat in it, and then they got vote and put to the astronaut didn't know there was a titty tat in that astronaut. And then the season whistled loudly, and then somebody to the rescue, the hero says. And then they all went to bed. The end.
Tosh Show. Tosh Show. Tosh Show for show.